What's going on, everybody? Good morning. We have made it to the start of a new month. It is November 1st, and I like to open each month with a little state of the channel video, just kind of recapping how things went in the most recent month and talking about the month that we hope to have going forward. Unfortunately, this state of the channel comes right after a month where it was rough. And you could feel the energy and the vibes just shifting completely in October. You started off coming off the Lions loss where you still felt pretty good about yourself. You still felt pretty good about this team, I think. I think the fan base was mostly still very much on board at that point, but to go 4 of 5 to lose 4 of 5, to lose at home to the Giants and get pseudo embarrassed at home by the Niners and then get completely embarrassed at home by the Bills, the enthusiasm was just gone. And, obviously I continue to make the videos. I looked back, I uploaded about 120 videos in the month of October. And there were also, 4 or 5 shorts and maybe, I don't know, 12 to 15 total live streams if you include the Husky watch-alongs. But there was not as much interest and there wasn't as much engagement as you would expect in the middle of a football season on a football channel. But when the team is playing that poorly and the results are that much of a departure from what you thought you were seeing earlier in the season, and we're now at a point where I feel like even if we didn't have big expectations going into the season, we were building up a little bit of an expectation after September, and now it's just out the door. Now it's just, well, the season's at a crossroads right now. So there were definitely moments where I could feel people checking out, and it's hard to blame them. We've been kind of stuck in this mediocre rut for a while now, and we want to break out of it. I think some people would prefer that we break out of it in the negative way. I, of course, don't really think that way. That's not really something that I get into. I'm not a tanking guy. I'm not a throw away a season guy at all. But I do get the sense that some people are just tired of getting stuck in the middle here. And because of that, they don't want to engage with the team as much, right? They want to engage as much as possible with a good team, a team that is living up to or surpassing expectations. This team, right now, they're not doing it. And October was about as bad a month as you could have. They had one really good win, and that certainly had an effect. But right now, as I sit here, I can feel the fan base starting to lose interest. And that's a horrible thing to have happen in a season where you have a new head coach and a completely new coaching staff, basically a new regime. But I get it. Because not only are we losing, in many ways, we are losing in a way that feels very similar to how we've lost before. So you're not even feeling like things are changing that much, right? The offense looks different, but it's not really performing radically better. And the defense doesn't really look different at all. So obviously, I continue to put out the videos. I continue to talk about the team as much as I can. We go through our weekly series. We do injury videos at least 3 times a week. We do random news updates, roster news. All that stuff is all over October. Game previews, game reviews. But the level of interest the fan base can muster when the team looks as bad as they have looked in some of these recent games, it's just not going to be there. And again, what else do you expect, right? Easy to pay attention to a team that is reeling off wins and doing great things and performing, but when that starts to wane, it makes sense. So, I mean, we still got hundreds of thousands of views on the channel this month, and I want to thank everybody who was part of that. I want to thank everybody who watched videos this month, even if it was just one. But the subscriber count, while it does continue to go up, which, any growth is good growth, you could see it. The explosion of new subscribers after wins just weren't there because there weren't very many wins. That's usually what happens. The team wins a game. People are feeling good about the team. They want to go out and find people talking about it. They find people who talk about it, and they subscribe. But that didn't happen in October. So I set a goal of like 500 new subs. We didn't even get to 300. We got a little past halfway, and there just wasn't a lot of enthusiasm to rally around the team. And we saw it in September. So it's certainly capable of happening. There's no rule that says it cannot happen, but the team actually has to perform. And I think the Detroit game was technically on the last day of September, but it feels like we just went 1-4 in the month of October, so you get what you get. Now, I want to thank everybody who did participate in the channel in some way over the last month. It was still a great month. I'm still very happy about the way this channel grows, but you can feel it. And quite frankly, just speaking here as somebody who reads a lot of comments every day and looks at a lot of things on Twitter every day, we are one loss away from people just straight up checking out and not checking back in until 2025's draft or free agency kicks off, I guess. So we're gonna find out. This November is gonna be very interesting, and given that, I kind of have to see what happens in this first game before I give any kind of a projection. Because hey, if we beat the Rams, and then we can have at least look decent against the 49ers, and then beat the Cardinals, those are divisional games. Those are divisional games, and losing the tiebreaker to the Niners obviously sucks, but you beat the Rams, you beat the Cardinals, and you at least don't embarrass yourself against San Fran. That is something that the fan base, I think, will rally around, and we'll see. We'll see more interest in this fan base. That's really what it's all about, right? Even if you're not completely sold that good things are going to happen, you're at least interested, but because you know good things could happen. So if we can find a way to win this Rams game this week, then I think we could be headed towards a really nice month as we get back on track here. But if we don't, you might be looking at... I'm going to continue to talk about the team as much as I can. When things go wrong, I talk about what's going wrong. When things go right, I talk about what's going right. And I'm going to continue to do that. But it will not surprise me if people start to want to hear it less and less, because most of the stuff is stuff we've heard before, right? We've heard about these simplistic vanilla defenses. We've heard about this, soft zone. We've heard about the fact that we can't run the ball. We've heard about the fact that we can't stop the run. And if it continues to be a problem that cripples this team, then I definitely imagine that November is going to be a month where things continue to kind of grind to a little bit of a halt. We'd probably get up to the 19,000 sub marker, but not by much. And obviously, look, at the end of the day, I control what I can control, and I can't control whether or not the team wins or loses. I'm something that I'm proud of is uploading videos consistently, no matter how the team is doing. But we might be headed for that season where things are over in mid-November, and then you just got to back out the trucks for the last maybe as many as like 6 games. Because you lose these next 3 to division rivals, it's not even worth thinking about anymore. It really isn't. So, not thrilling. Wish I had better news here, but I mean, you guys know that the team is not playing well. So, that's not really news. It's just, it's a little bit harder to get traction when the team isn't winning. But again, I want to thank everybody who did continue to participate on the channel here. Watch videos, leave comments, like videos. It all helps. Participate in stream chat. I love all you guys. So that's the YouTube side of things. Again, I can't really set a goal for this month until I see this Rams game, but if things go poorly, it might just be like a 220, right? Just try to get to 19,000 and call it good. 19,000 was the end of October goal, by the way, and I think we would have gotten there if we had won a couple games that we lost. Okay, so that's the YouTube side real quick. Twitch, October was a great month. We finished up Star Wars Jedi Academy, which is an actually good Star Wars game. So that was something we did on stream early in October, wrapping that up. We messed around a little bit on a Sega Genesis, kind of an emulator on Steam. Played it through a couple of games, Virtua Fighter 2, Alex Kidd and the Enchanted Castle. Just one night time wasters to pass, just to basically pass the time. We started on Metaphor, which is excellent so far. We're over 30 hours in. It's a playthrough that I anticipate will occupy me until December at the earliest. It would not shock me if it lasted through to January. But Metaphor is excellent so far. Getting pretty deep into it. Liking what I see a lot. So that's been a phenomenal playthrough we're doing over on Twitch. And then we did Halloween week, which was a week of horror games. Amanda the Adventurer 2, Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, Resident Evil 3 Remake, which ended up taking 2 streams. I wanted to do it in one, couldn't quite do it. And then the playthrough that is currently ongoing, Silent Hill 2 Remake, which I played for the last 3 days of the marathon. Really good, really impressed with it so far. Having a good time with it, having fun. And we're having a good time on the streams over there. We're not done with the game. We haven't beaten the game. So we weren't able to beat it before the end of Halloween, but that was expected. I'm going to continue to play it for the next few days until we beat it. At which point, you'll be a few days into November. I'm going to go back to Metaphor, and that's going to be mostly where I live the whole month. It's possible that later in the month, before I beat it, I'm going to go back to Demon Souls and grind on that for the streams. But it's going to be a lot of Metaphor and then a lot of Demon Souls in the month of November. And it wouldn't surprise me if that's all I do. Like, those 3 things might be the only games I play on stream. But, yeah, it was a good month. We actually saw a little bit of growth, which you guys know is very hard to come by on Twitch. When you're a variety channel, people just flit in and flit out. They don't ever really want to become a consistent viewer because you're playing different things almost every single day. So we did pick up some new followers over there. We did pick up some subs. So always thankful for the just having people there to keep me company when I'm playing these scary games. It's all appreciated. And that's really about it. That was October, a disappointing month. The team obviously was a big disappointment. And the I would go so far as to say that without that, it's really hard to have the other thing, right? Like be honest. Are you more likely to engage with the Seahawks stuff and think about the Seahawks a lot of your own volition if things are going well, or is it more interesting if things are going bad? Especially this kind of bad, where you're just frustrated because you thought it was going to be better now. All right. Nevertheless, we're going to try to have a great November. It's going to be the same kinds of videos for the most part. We're going to continue the weekly series. Maybe Rooting Guide gets modified depending on what happens these next couple weeks, but for now, that's all going to be staying the same. We might ramp up draft content, especially if this weekend's game goes poorly, but we're going to continue to expand conversations about this upcoming draft. And it'll just be kind of at the mercy of the team. Do they want to pull us back in here? Do they want to make a big move to try to shock everybody awake? What's up? I don't know, but I'll be covering it the best that I can. And I'll be seeing you guys later. So go Hawks. Thank you everybody for watching. We're going to continue to ride out the Husky season as well, by the way, on YouTube, even though obviously there's not much good that can happen. We're going to continue to hope for better things, even as we prepare ourselves mentally for worse things. But yeah, thanks for a good a good October. It wasn't the October I was hoping for, but again, I totally get it, right? It's not gonna hit the same when the team is playing like that. 1-4 over their last 5, and 3 of those losses were pretty emasculating, really. Like, not just losses, they were smacks in the mouth. All right. Video in a couple hours, back to regularly scheduled content, but I like to take this one video every month just to talk about things. And I'm hoping for a better November. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks.